Hello.
Hello. Hold on one
How are
second.
you? How are you?
Let me stop the loop. I'm just getting stuff sent out to the X and the Twitter because I
Okay.
have to go live in order to send the links out because, common sense of setting up a studio where you can send out links before they actually go live is just
Would
overrated.
be exactly.
Don't you just love how that works?
I love it. For
Uh,
anybody that has joined us, and we will give another message a little bit later, we are shifting our hours back by 1 hour. So instead of 4 to 6 p.m., we will be going live 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm warning you now, I can't talk. I'm so Benadrylled up, I don't know which end is up right now.
hey, welcome to my day.
Oh, gosh, I don't know how you do it. This is just driving me crazy.
Well, I've had to deal with it for 40-ish
Oh,
years of my life. So
I don't.
for me it's second nature.
Exactly. This is craziness, I'm telling you. So if I fall asleep in the middle of this live stream, well, just let Crazy B take over.
I will do just that.
Just mute the mic, though, because you never know what's going to happen. So make sure you mute the mic.
Ah,
'Cause I think I
no,
talk in
I'm
my
going to do an
sleep,
AI
so.
voiceover. I'm going to do an AI voiceover on you
There
and
you
have a
go.
lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, that would be hysterical.
Yes, it
Oh,
would.
but
I absolutely agree. It would be hysterical, and I think
you're
it's a
not
great
kidding.
idea.
Yeah, you're not.
I-
Hey, but just remember, payback's a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There
but
could
good
be a
luck
day.
catching me asleep on the on the studio.
Well, you never know, though. You know what I mean? You just never know what might happen.
Yeah,
Oh, we
that's true.
here. We got Blue Queen joining us early. Thank you.
Hello. I'm
Uh,
just getting the info set out to the different servers and the different platforms. So I shall be with y'all momentarily, but I got to
yes,
do this
yes,
because there's no little bot thingy that's awesome and does it for you, or at least consistently and effectively does it for you.
it
It's a
would be
bad
too
thing.
easy. You know
It
why make it?
would.
Why make it easy?
Oh, of course. I can't type right either.
Neither can I. I can't see. So what are you talking
You
about?
can't talk, you can't see, I can't type, I can barely speak. So, this will be entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I'm already hitting the wrong buttons. It just
Oh, that's allowed to happen.
it goes, do you want to leave? I might have to leave and just not come back. So
Oh,
if I go
I
if I
I
go
don't
live,
know why it won't let you type as if you're talking on
I
the
know,
chats.
I know. We'll have to
It
figure
bugs
that
me.
out.
So, let me
Right.
go ahead and send it to Rumble where she's at. And there we go. Now she'll be able to see what you type.
There we go.
Yeah, unless you're using 2 devices, it's not gonna let you. I think that's stupid, and that's what I like
Well,
about the
here's
EvMux is that we can do that when we
right
switch
here.
over to EvMux.
Yeah, here's the problem is I on the phone, even though I have the Rumble Studio, every time I type the link in, it says you need to have Rumble Studio, and it's already there. So I've even removed the app and put it back on several times, and it still won't allow me to take the link and put it into the studio.
That is so weird. See,
I
this is
know
why we gotta get the PC up and going,
that,
and we can just start
antivirus.
switch over to EvMux and start practicing with it.
I like Emux better, but whatever. We'll call it Evmux if you
Its
want.
proper name, you mean?
Yeah. Well, this is my personal pet name for it. Evmux, Emux, who mux, what mux. You know what I mean?
Very
I'm
true.
telling it.
Hi,
I'm,
Arby.
hey
More
RB, how
like
you
Ev
doing?
sucks.
Well, we don't know that yet, right? We don't know that
Well,
yet.
so far from my time playing with the free version, it's
Yeah.
actually not that bad.
Okay.
Um, it's just happened. It's no worse than StreamYard. It's just cheaper.
Right. And plus, I think
And
we identified it gave us a couple additional things to do than what StreamYard had. I think there were like two things different about it that we liked. So
Yeah, we were able to, stream out to we were able to have more co-hosts and one extra platform for this, for
for the
what was it,
server,
$10
yeah,
cheaper?
yeah, right.
Oh, RB saying hi to Blue Rose. He's saying, "Hi, Blue on the Rumble side." Oh, alright. So, yeah, we're gonna be, jumping to a little bit earlier in the day, so that way family doesn't feel abandoned.
Correct.
Um, you know, them and their needs, like,
I know.
seriously.
Hey, what do
Well,
you
I
do when
spent a
there's
good, what, 30 minutes this morning convincing my daughter that I could cut her hair better than a hairstylist who was gonna charge her $30 for the same haircut.
oh geez.
It wasn't too bad, and she actually liked it.
Well,
"Hey, Leia."
you should tell her, hey Leah, you should tell her that you only charge 15 then.
Mm. No, I just pulled out the hair scissors, went to the bathroom, trimmed off about 4 or 5 inches of her hair, and she was happy, especially because it
Okay.
was straight, unlike the chick at the hair salon
Right,
that charged her $30 with the tip. It was like $20 haircut, $10 tip. And her hair was all crooked. Her hair
right.
was all over crooked. I ended up having to fix her hair when we got home from doing that.
Oh wow.
Yep, grab the clippers, exactly. Exactly. I just grabbed the hair scissors, and I know how to cut hair because 'cause I've been doing it myself, cut my own hair. I think I've only been to a hairstylist twice in my life. In the 40 years I've been alive, well, 42 years in August. Um, I've only gone to a hairstylist twice because it's just easier for me to put my hair in a braid, trim it up, and then even it out.
Right. Well, yours is pretty much 1 month, right?
Yeah, but when you
Yeah.
do it with a braid, it has kind of a layered look. You
Yeah.
gotta trim up, where you don't want it, where you because again, your hair crosses, and well, actually, no, the braid actually does make it harder. Now that when I'm actually thinking about this, no wonder why I had it so complicated. Actually, you can ponytail easier and just cut it in the direction of the ponytail, and
Right.
it will cut your hair properly as well. I know
Yeah.
other people who would just flip their heads upside down and trim
And
off
cut.
from
Right.
the
Right.
upside down angle, but that hurts my neck and makes me dizzy, so
Mhm.
I
You
don't do
don't
that.
do that. Leah makes a good point that even the budget haircut place salons or places have gotten extremely
Yeah,
expensive. They're
that's
25, $27 a haircut. I think I'm
um,
gonna end up
2
losing.
years ago, we took no, it was a year ago, we took my daughter and it cost $30, like I said, for the full thing, and that was the cheapest professional salon out there.
Wow. I
Yep,
have a feeling just I'm warning you now, I might lose my voice, so it's going.
that's
So,
perfectly fine.
okay.
I got mine
I can
for now,
if that happens, I'll grunt during the whatever you have to say, all right?
or I can translate.
This is true because you do know my language pretty well, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
All
Or
right.
I could incorrectly translate and make it really funny.
Well, try it and let's see how many people this goes out to. So we've been really pleased with we've been like, yeah, that's real proper language. We have been in shock, I think, with the numbers of,
Yeah, recent numbers of our videos.
with our videos that we're trying to figure out what did we do wrong saying,
Nah, what we did right,
yeah,
those
what we
numbers
did
jumped
right.
up
The numbers jumped up. So, we appreciate everybody's support. Our largest
very
numbers are
much.
coming from Rumble, but if you're looking from locals or YouTube, as we
Or
mentioned,
Spotify.
Spotify, as we mentioned, we will be shifting hours from 4 to 6 to 3 to 5 to meet family obligations throughout the country. If you're Eastern Standard like mine is, and my husband's standing in the door at 5 o'clock going, where's dinner? And I still have an hour to go, that just wasn't working. So fortunately, we were able to make adjustments. But we also have some, I think probably what, the last week of March, we're going to have some little bit of teasers coming out with some new little new stuff that we're going to be doing beginning
Things we're
April
kicking
1st.
around.
Yeah, but beginning April 1st. And so we're working hard behind the scenes um, to get you content that is of interest to you. The other thing regarding that content that's of interest, if there's anything that you would like us to look into, please leave us a comment
Mom, why are you
in
telling
any
me
of the
something?
platforms and we will look at it and take that under consideration. So we do have, a variety of topics from climate change to, anything, uh,
Well,
you
like
know,
today's, we're going to be
yes,
covering the woolly mice, new
yes.
creation to the
Mhm.
planet.
Yes, wait till you see we have a
Every day
new
we
mouse
stray
in
further
town,
from God.
and this mouse is going to take over the house. So
Yeah, all these
uh,
people talking.
you better be careful with this one. But with that being said, we're going to do some current events to begin with, and Crazy B, if you want to get that started, we'll see where we go from there.
Um, well, the current events would actually be at the bottom of our list because I found something that's going on right now. I can pull that up really quick.
Oh, she's doing stuff she didn't tell me about. Oh,
No, I just found it
oh, you
not too
just
long
found it.
ago.
Okay, go ahead,
This was
Grasshopper.
found, this was found about not even an hour ago. Let me share this screen and I will get you guys slightly updated. So that guy that is being deported that we were planning on talking about,
Yes.
turns out there's some people, and oddly described as Jewish protesters, are outside of Trump Tower in New York protesting this. Let's take a quick look.
Um,
I don't know if it's technically Jewish protesters or a bunch of college idiots, but they are outside of Trump's tower, um, sitting around having a fit. And there's some
oh yeah.
they've been showing a few of them all over the place. The guy in the video, oh my god, every time he makes a comment, it distracts me. But yeah, uh, if you do look into climate change,
Oh,
All right, Jeff, keep it there. I'm gonna call in. They just send an IFB. Oh,
I gotta pause this. My son is distracting me. He is petting me like a cat.
no, I'm not. So why are the
meow.
Jewish protesters flooding Trump's tower to demand Mohammed Khali's release?
Because he's going to be deported, even though he has a green card. A green card does not mean you are a citizen yet.
Mm.
It
So why
means
is he
you are
being
on your
deported?
path to being a citizen. And he is being deported for starting pro-Hamas protest at Columbia State University.
Isn't Hamas not Jewish?
Yes, they are. They are Islam.
They're a terrorist
Why do the Jewish people
organization.
care about that?
They're a terrorist
I don't know.
organization.
Are they really? No. Well,
My son's over here wondering if they're really they are
Tell
fake
him he
Jews
has, if
that
he's going to
couldn't give a
comment,
crap about Judaism.
yeah, if he's going to comment, tell him he's got to join. Get on the mic. Bring him
I know.
on.
Well, he's sitting next to me.
I know.
He's
I
sitting.
I can hear him.
Here,
Tell
you want
he,
to?
he
You can
yeah.
talk to D. I'll let you
no.
listen.
Are you
Come
live?
on.
Yes, I'm live.
Hitler was right.
Stop it! Go. Give me
The
that knee.
ones in the
Give me that knee.
the ones in the chambers were the fake Jews.
Stop it. Go. Oh my god. Anyone want my
um
son? He's trying to get me in trouble. But
uh
yes,
so with Khalil, what's interesting about him is that so a judge in New York blocked his deportation. Okay, a liberal
yes.
judge from the left blocked him in New York. But President Trump
But I have
drew
a
a
new
trump card. Yes, what did he
I
do?
have an update from CBS News, and
And
then I
where
have
did
the
he
liberal
go?
hive mind video.
Correct. And where did we put him? Where did we put Mr. Khalil?
We
Go
put
ahead.
him in a completely different state, so New York's little bullshit couldn't happen.
Uh-huh. Is null and void.
Yep. So, yep, that's oh, it was just sent to me by Blue Rose. Yep, that's here. Let me pull this one up really fast from Twitter. Give me 2 seconds. Now these videos might be glitchy. I apologize.
We're being told they are now making arrests here.
Oh, they're getting
We
arrested.
were bringing this to you live. People have stormed into Trump Tower protesting
Yep.
the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University former graduate student, who has riled up so much of the anti-Semitism that we've seen, not
Oh,
just on
I'm
Columbia,
glad
but
they're
other
getting arrested.
campuses as
I
well.
So
will
am
say
I.
that. I'm very glad these people are getting arrested. Um, let's take a listen to what CBS News had to say about this. What was this? 8 hours ago. Oh, share this channel, this tab. Oh my God. I'm going to get the hang of this. I promise. I really promise I will get the hang of this.
She has 2 more weeks, and then if not, well, we'll figure out what we're going to do with her.
Will remain in detention following a brief court hearing. Judges blocked Mahmoud Khalil's deportation for now. Christina Fan joins us live from Lower Manhattan with the latest on this case. Christina.
Mary, good morning. Attorneys for Mahmoud Khalil and the government battled yesterday in court over jurisdiction where this case should be heard. A judge set forth several deadlines and a timetable for when paperwork and arguments should be submitted. And while he ordered that Khalil remain in custody down in Louisiana for now, he also granted his attorneys more access to their client. As attorneys for Mahmoud Khalil faced off with Trump administration officials inside federal court Wednesday, protesters outside demanded the release of the pro-Palestinian activist.
Everybody should be out in the streets right now. Everybody should be really upset.
If only these people knew what they were supporting. If
This is
only.
just, they have no idea.
They are so out of touch with what this is like those idiots who are like, oh, we need to open the southern border, but don't know what cartels do to people.
Or, yeah, exactly. We're like the BLM riots. They had no idea what they were supporting.
Yes. And that is my issue with this.
The ignorance is just
I
unbelievable.
guess they've never seen Hamas beheading people who don't agree with them, or what they've done to the gay, trans, and all those people.
Exactly.
I can't even describe it because I don't want to get kicked off of any of the platforms.
Right. And yeah, we'll have to be careful with that. So we really don't want to say too much about that. But suffice it to say, the violence is extreme, and they have been declared a terrorist organization by the Trump administration. And
Actually, Hamas was, I believe, no, it wasn't before this.
No, Trump did.
Okay.
And so with Khalil, the riots that he started, and they had taken over the buildings of Columbia, destroyed things, hurt a security guard, beat him, and for them to then turn around and say because he has a green card, he has any type of rights. Nothing.
You can still be deported with a green card.
Exactly.
I don't think people understand what green card means.
Well, that, if you get a green card, if you had if you have a green card, a working, card, or
Visa.
a visa or whatever, everybody seems to think that you have some type of right to be in America, and you are here you're here at the courtesy of the country, and therefore.
Well, with the green card is just your working on your path to citizenship.
Correct.
Green card is you are becoming a citizen. You have the legal right to be here, unless you commit crimes.
Correct.
And then you can be deported.
Right.
You have to be well behaved during that time frame. I've known more than one person who has almost been deported because of green card and committing a crime.
And we also talked earlier, there was an incident about, everybody bitching about what is free speech and what you get to say in these particular cases. Free speech comes with consequences. and there
Uh-huh.
is certain behaviors, normal societal norms, I should say, that everyone follows,
Yeah,
and there's expectations of your behavior. And when you don't behave in these cases, then you go. That's all.
exactly.
Anybody that's with them, go with them.
Bingo.
Have at it. We'll help you leave.
Exactly. And this is where, again, people need to get their heads on straight about what is going on, what is acceptable, what is not,
And I,
and get over themselves.
and do you remember when they were there rioting and they set that little enclave? It was like a stone enclave, I believe, on fire. Uh,
Not
do you?
off the top of my head.
Okay, I believe that happened under Biden, if I recall correctly. When this incident occurred with them taking over the school, wasn't Biden was in office, correct?
Yes, some of them
Okay,
were under Biden, and some have continued. No, they stopped when Trump took office because
okay.
Trump's like,
So
y'all are going to jail if you do this shit.
right. So we had again Biden letting everybody and their mother in the country, everybody, misbehaving from the cartels all the way up to, any type of thief, any type of dissident. In this particular case, America's wrong, bring Hamas in.
Hmm.
So, for those 4-year period, everything went to hell in a handbasket. So now we
Well, it
have
did at the end of Trump's 2019 through 2020,
that.
right?
Yeah.
At the end of his, but that was because the Democrats incited it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I agree. And what Arby said, the oh my God. I assume the argument from Trump org is that dude incited rather than just speech. And
Correct.
you can speak all you want, but when you start calling people to do violence
Correct.
is when
When
it's no longer
they
speech.
when you take over a school building that does is not in your ownership, that is you're breaking the law at that
Well,
particular
again,
point.
like I can sit there and say, bring these corrupt politicians to justice, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying how.
Correct.
There's a difference. Free speech.
Right.
If I say, "Oh, never mind, we're online." Nope, I'm not going to give an example because some idiot will use it against me. But
Correct.
you get the idea. You get the
Correct.
gist of it. You
Right.
cannot say, "Do this, that, and the other exactly this way," and think you're not going to get in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that is an current ongoing circumstance right now, the activist situation. And I do have the liberal hive mind video pulled up so we can get his take on it, or at least
I
a
think he does a
chunk of
good
his take.
yeah, I think he does a good job in explaining what's going on.
Yep. So let's hit play, listen to him, and go from there.
Jennings clip. Here's the debate happening on CNN. I think Scott Jennings raises some pretty valid points. Take a look. He's a resident alien. He can be deported under U.S. law for if the Secretary of State has any reasonable ground to believe he would have a potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequence. And you mentioned the student organization. The student organization put out.
Before you move on, because I think that's a really important.
She never lets them finish. Have y'all ever noticed this?
Yeah.
She really has an issue with the white men having
Yeah.
a full say.
Yep.
She's always got to cut them off. So I'm cutting her off, but let's continue. That was petty.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll take that.
I
Did you? I know what you really wanted to say. It was probably "shut up, bitch," but you did it in a much more nicer fashion. But I'll say it for you.
okay. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, did you have anything to add about her
Just,
constantly cutting them off?
yeah, just shut up, bitch. You know what I mean? Uh, she never is. We'll let it go. We're not talking about her. She might be an
Yeah,
interesting
that's a
character.
whole nother episode.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's hit play.
Yeah, right. That's the statute they're using.
Yeah.
But have you seen any evidence to suggest that there is actually a serious reason to believe that this student is going to be a threat to national security?
I mean, I've certainly watched the abomination that's going on at Columbia and Barnard and other places. And I'll just tell you, his organization says we are dedicated fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization.
Okay,
He's
so
not a
stop,
citizen.
stop.
He doesn't even
I
know.
don't want you to just describe him having viewpoints that you disagree with. Is that enough to have someone?
Hold up,
Wow.
hold up. He wants to
Wow.
eradicate Western
Right.
civilization, and we
Civilization.
disagree with him, so we should
Uh-huh.
just, not be so serious?
Could she go up? Could she be first up front to talk to them? Perhaps.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How stupid is she? Like,
That's what.
dude wants to eradicate our way of life, and we
Right.
should just be okay with it and let him stay here? Are you stupid?
Right. And it's just not him. We have serious protests going on.
Oh my god, these
Exactly.
people.
This is the mentality that you're dealing with.
And this is why I'm glad I only went to college long enough to be able to work in the field I wanted to work in, and I didn't stay there forever and a day.
Yep.
I did not want to do that because I'm not going to be indoctrinated by a bunch of idiots who don't know how to use basic logic. Like,
And well,
oh my god. Oh my god.
I think her job
Ugh.
is to be illogical. So go ahead, play.
All right, let's do this.
Lose their rights in this
He has viewpoints that, in my opinion, jeopardize the security of the United States. He is obviously a radical who is here to foment. He's not radical at all. The United States government.
destroy Western civilization against the United States government.
You're saying eradicate Western civilization doesn't make you a radical?
Has he acted in any way that is
I think
violence
yes.
against the United States government?
I think these protests and the violence they have fomented and the intimidation and fear against the Jewish kids on these campuses is absolutely an act of insurrection against the United States. I don't think what they have engaged in is a clear threat to the United States. And if you want the United States to be overrun by radicals the way Europe has, be my guest. But I think the president needs to stand up for the integrity of the United States.
What is the threat?
The threat of our country being, and our college campuses being overrun by radicals who are trying to run Jewish kids off of campuses. Anybody else would disagree? Yes, they are. In UCLA. He is not a citizen. If he were a citizen, I might feel differently. He's a guest in this country.
Okay.
It's my view. It's the Trump administration.
But it doesn't matter.
No, I didn't walk in here with my gumshoe investigative. But here's what I do think. This guy's running an organization in Colombia that has ruined 2 solid years of people's lives.
Yes. Based on allegations that you have not substantiated.
I think he should be deported based on. He is not a citizen. I might feel differently. He's a guest in this country.
I was in Miami when the Clinton administration and Janet Reno returned Elian Gonzalez.
Another stupid
How is
idiot.
this woman allowed to have a public
I don't know,
opinion?
but she's a co-host on The View, so
Yes, that's why I was just pausing this. Like, is she worth listening to at this point?
you know what?
My golly.
I listened to her, and I thought that she was at a rally and got a tooth knocked out and got a lot of money for getting her tooth knocked out or something. Well, I'll have to double
Not
check
enough
into that.
teeth. Oops,
Apparently.
sorry. Did I say that out loud? Shit.
We might get in trouble for that one.
I probably will. I probably will.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not mean it to come out like that. Well, actually, I'm. You know what? I'm going to shut up before I dig my own grave. Here we go.
Okay.
Is that
Were you trying to
Love you
eradicate Western
too.
civilization?
stop the U.S. government? And I was protesting against what the U.S. government had done. I was
Were you
protesting.
occupying buildings?
I was protesting.
Were you fomenting
I was
violence?
doing what that.
Were you inciting others to engage in violence?
That
Were you
statute said.
chasing
I was
people
against
around?
U.S. foreign policy.
Were you
at the time.
intimidating?
You can be against U.S. foreign policy, but did you set a building on fire? Did you hurt someone? Did you threaten bodily harm to a politician? No? Okay, you did nothing wrong.
I can't stand her so much. You know, she'll speak Spanish or whatever on the show and go off. I would like to have a debate with our Spanish speaking wild Mexican that we can get on the side to go up against her. She is as bad as the other one is. She is
Yeah.
horrendous. I mean, she
Yes.
is sitting there wanting to incite what's going on. She
Yeah.
believes in what they're doing. How? I
Well,
just
I mean, the same can be said for who was it? Who was that chick during Vietnam? The
oh,
actress
yeah, Jane Fonda.
Jane
Jane
Fonda.
Fonda. Yep.
And she was facing some serious trouble for what she did.
Yes, she did. She was in
She
a
was
lot of trouble when she
actually
came back.
she
Yes.
was actually trying to relay where the troops were to the
Mhm.
enemy.
Yep. I can
And
remember
that's
that.
not except I only know about it because of my dad.
Yeah.
He could not stand any movies she was in. He would
No, I
not
think,
watch them.
if I recall correctly, when she came back, I believe they were talking about jail time for her. That's how
Yeah,
serious it was. I mean, she was with the enemy, and I can recall, I think there's a picture of her in a tank with the enemy, and that's how adamant she was against the war, the war with the US troops being there. I just don't understand, if you're that hell bent on this country and we are so wrong, we need to do what now, hashtag Rosie O'Donnell. Get out. Rosie O'Donnell is now in Ireland. She's going for Irish citizenship and is denouncing the United States. If you don't like it here, get out. I'm tired of
yeah.
it. I'm truly tired of it. You're either
All these
here.
people are free to leave. We are not
Yes,
China. You are
exactly.
free to leave this
Yep.
country at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And yet people act like they can't.
Right.
They act like they can't go anywhere. You are free to get the hell out if you do not like the way things are going. But I'll
Mm-hmm.
tell you what my grandfather said, there ain't no country on this planet that gives you the freedoms and the rights
That the
as
United States
America.
does. That's correct. And that's why they
That's
won't
why
make.
he wouldn't teach us his Czech, where he's
Yep.
from. He wouldn't teach us the language.
Yep.
Why? Because we had no reason to learn it, because we had no reason to go there.
Right.
Brent being silly. So, yeah, I mean, if people don't like it here, there's the port. Peace out. Have fun trying to spread your BS somewhere else. You'll get thrown off of a rooftop. If you're lucky, that'll be the extent of it. I just want to point this out to people. Let's continue tolerating her nerve grating opinions for a little bit longer.
People
Okay,
can
we
stop.
were putting down
My view is that we're in a fight for the future of Western civilization. This guy's on the wrong side of it, and he don't need to be here.
It's possible that my view is controversial. I'm not exactly sure how this video is going to be perceived, even by the right wing. But in my view, here's the simple truth. Green card holders are not citizens, and that means they do not have an absolute right to stay in America if they break the law. This isn't some radical idea. Every country has policies like this. If you go to another country on a visa or a green card and you commit a crime, advocate for political violence, or engage in activities that threaten national security, well, you're out. That's just how it works. And in Khalil's case, I think it's actually pretty cut and dry, because he wasn't just some bystander at a protest. He was a leader of an illegal demonstration that turned into outright lawlessness. Let's talk about what really happened, what the mainstream media so desperately is trying to avoid. This wasn't some peaceful, innocent, free speech gathering where a bunch of people gathered together singing hymns, holding hands, and chanting kumbaya. No, Khalil and his group set up an encampment that directly defied Colombia's policies and city laws. It was a clear violation of school rules, yet they refused to leave even after multiple warnings. And then when authorities stepped in, things got completely out of hand. They occupied buildings, blocked entrances, totally took over the building, destroyed property, and even beat a security guard. And he was allegedly injured so badly that he ended up in the hospital. But now the left wants you to believe that they're just victims. Oh, these protesters are victims. They were being targeted for expressing their views. But they weren't just expressing their views. They were actively breaking the law. And what were they actually advocating for? Oh, just the end of Western civilization as we know it. The rhetoric wasn't about peace or human rights. It was about tearing down our society. Yeah, the same society that's given some of these people refuge in a home, a peaceful home, a safe environment to live in. The behavior of this individual and this organization is simply unacceptable. And those who are defending him are now claiming that deporting him is some sort of attack on democracy as we know it. In what world should foreigners be allowed to come into the United States, stir up chaos, Hamas openly call for the end of our society, engage and lead violent events, and then be shocked when they face consequences. If an American went to, say, China or Iran and started leading protests against their government, they'd be lucky to get out without serious jail time, or worse, they'd be lucky to get out alive. Sure, America is one of the most.
He's got a good point. If it was any other country or organization,
Would you
they'd
even
be
get out?
facing worse consequences.
Exactly. Would you even get out alive?
So, why is this guy any different? What makes him so special? What
Right.
makes Hamas so special? Again, nothing. They're a terrorist organization like the cartels, like
And
ISIS.
the one thing I didn't look up, and I don't know if you can do it real quick, is how old is he? We
Good
know.
question. Let me find out.
He looks.
I'm gonna have to remember how to spell his name.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if he is an actual student on campus. I don't know that either. I apologize. I'm Benadryl, so
No, he's a former student.
former student. Okay.
Yes.
So, what right does he have to be on campus to begin with? I can remember any school I ever went to, including if I had to take the kids to school, you were only allowed to be there if you belonged there. Other than that, I couldn't walk into your high school to see you or to, interact with anybody. So, why does he have access? I don't understand that part. He looks, older to me than, a normal college student would be.
How do you spell his last name?
Khall. Oh, it's sitting right there, dear. On
Yeah, well, I got a separate screen pulled up, so it's hard to
okay,
see.
it's Mahmoud, and then like I said, Khall.
29.
Oh, get rid of him. Send him back. Where's he from?
Military age.
Yeah, where's he
He's
from?
29.
Okay, get him out.
Um,
Bye bye.
he's from Palestine.
Okay, send him back.
He was working for a master's, or he was probably working for a master's or PhD. They said he was a former student, not a current student. I've heard reports that he was a former student. So yeah,
he was able
interesting.
to. Yeah, so he's able to take students and gather a large mass with that mandate.
Malleable-minded,
Yes,
weak-minded students.
correct. With the mandate to eradicate.
The
That's the
West.
big yes, the West. Not to, come together and let's be kumbaya friends. No,
Nope,
we are going.
eradicate.
Yep. Okay.
Just want to point out the word
All right,
eradicate.
and I would like Abby and Anna Navarro to stand right in front of him. Okay, right in front of him.
Well,
See,
he
would you
tells them how horrible they are for being
to their face?
westernized.
And let Abby try to interject and interrupt him. Let Anna
Oh
try to
yeah,
do
that ain't gonna
what
go
does she do?
well.
Exactly.
Oh, that ain't gonna go well. If only people understood. There's a few more moments. Let's get through this and see what's going on next.
The most tolerant countries in the world when it comes to free speech and protesting, but there's a massive difference between expressing opinions and actively.
Wait, this is a post from a Senate Judiciary Democrats on Blue Sky. How are they still in office? How are they still in office?
Because people were not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm noticing. Let's get through this.
Actively organizing movements that disrupt public order and propel radical groups and ideologies forward. And that, I think, is the reality here. That's the most important part of the story. Mahmoud Khalil wasn't just some activist student. He was actively pushing Hamas's agenda on U.S. soil. His group wasn't advocating for peaceful dialogue. They were openly glorifying Hamas, chanting terrorist slogans, and defending the October 7th massacre. Well, newsflash, Hamas is a designated terrorist organization by the U.S. government, and Khalil was helping spread their propaganda right at home. And this wasn't just some isolated outburst. The Gaza Solidarity Encampment was actually part of a broader radical movement tied to groups with known Hamas sympathies, which includes Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP, which has been exposed multiple times for having direct links to Hamas-backed organizations. Khalil was leading this movement, coordinating protests that turned violent, and aiding an agenda that supports terrorism. And so, the left and even some people on the right can whine all they want, but in my view, the facts are clear here. He was promoting a terrorist cause, and the U.S. has every legal right to revoke his green card. Foreigners do not have the right to come to the United States and rally for terrorist organizations. If you're a foreign national in the United States, you are a guest, and that means you follow the laws and respect the country that let you in. You don't get to break laws, lead radical protests, and advocate for the destruction of society that's given you so many opportunities. Mahmoud Khalil thought that he could get away with it. He thought that he could whip up chaos and then play the victim and escape consequences, but it turns out he just played stupid games and now is likely to win stupid prizes. It's really not complicated. Foreign nationals on green cards shouldn't have the right to lead radical organizations and cause chaos and violence on domestic soil. And the idea that having a green card makes you immune to any consequences is completely ridiculous. If you break the law, the federal government has the absolute authority to revoke your green card permanent resident status. It's really not all that complicated. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, green card does not mean full citizenship. It means you're on your way to full citizenship, and it can be revoked at any time.
Uh-oh. Oh,
What?
nothing. I just want to send you the story because, oh my gosh. Or actually, I'll just tell you and then send it. So the FBI just issued a warning that if you're getting any texts from Easy Pass on your iPhone or Android, that it's a scam, and whatever's going on, they want you to delete the message right away. And you are not going to believe how many I've received because we use Easy Pass to get on the turnpike, right? And what
Uh-huh.
they do is they submit. You get a bill in the mail when you go through, whatever
Yeah.
toll booth. Say you owe $20, they send you an invoice in the mail for 20. But I pay online and that, and they also have your email address and they'll send messages. So if you don't pay your bill, they'll take your license away from you. So we've been
Yeah.
getting that. They've been threatening Eric to take his license. Uh, I'm going to send this over. This is interesting. I apologize. It just hit my phone just now with like
Hmm.
tons of freaking messages
Yeah,
saying,
because I've even used the Ohio Turnpike.
okay,
Well, not me driving, but my dad, when we would drive from Michigan to New York City to visit family.
okay. Again, I
So
apologize
I am
for that.
familiar.
Yeah, I apologize. It just hit my phone as a huge warning. So the fact that I have seen this personally, fortunately, I didn't click on it because it looks weird. And, I've seen what their text looks like, and I'm like, I'll just wait. They can send me an invoice. But so be careful with this. I've
Well,
sent
Arby's
crazy.
gotten it too. Arby
You're
got it
kidding.
too.
Hopefully, you
3 or
didn't
4
click.
times now.
Wow. This is crazy. So I just sent
Yes,
Crazy B the detail on it. We'll have it in the show notes. Please, everybody, be careful. That's
very
crazy.
much so.
Okay, I apologize. Go ahead, Crazy B.
Okay, now I'm gonna, since we're done with the YouTube links, um, I want to cover. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna cover the woolly mouse first.
Yes, we have that, and I thought we had one other piece.
The
So let's do.
Obama
Yeah,
resurfaced,
we'll
and
do
then if
that.
we have time for all of the Pierce Morgan, we'll take it. But if
Yeah,
not, we'll just leave it be.
yeah. Go ahead with Woolly Mouse. This is just cracks me up. This
Yep.
is like this. Like I could picture like bald people getting using their hair and stuff. This is crazy. This is like a Fauci thing. Horror, your worst nightmare coming true.
Yeah. Well, let's watch it.
Go ahead.
I
Go.
think it's a I gotta pull it up. and share the entire screen. So I apologize if any of my notifications show up in advance. People send me stuff all day. Actually, I just got a tip on something I want to cover tomorrow. Um, and I'm about to get pinged again. I see him typing. So let's go ahead and share this and get it started, because this is actually a very interesting breakdown of how they created a woolly mouse. They basically combined woolly mammoth genes with a mouse. I think it's cute. I would love it as a pet. Um, but we'll leave it at that. So,
He would
let's hit
he would
play.
he would eat through his cage.
I don't think so.
Mm,
Not if you get a glass aquarium with a wire lid.
well,
Let's hit play and see.
go ahead. Let's see how strong they are and
This
all
is
of that.
Anton, and yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna have to talk about these woolly mammoth mice. The recent announcement from a biological startup that basically created this a genetically modified mouse whose fur was modified to resemble what mammoths used to have back in the days. And so let's talk about the
He says
in the
back in the
house.
day,
I guess first,
like
let's
it was
start with
just.
exactly
I'm sorry. He's like back in
Go
the day.
ahead.
Like, I'm sorry. He goes back in the day like it was just like a couple days ago or whatever, instead of millions of years. I'm sorry. That just cracked me up. We just
Yeah.
did this like back in the day. Like no big deal. This is a big deal. They took a freaking mammoth, uh, like a mammoth elephant and put this in this little mouse. What
Well,
what
the
do we
part of
have?
the DNA. Part
Right.
of the
What do
DNA, not
right.
all of
So
it.
right, but what do we actually have? We'll watch the video. I'll shut up. I have not seen it all. So, but this just cracks me up. Like, what's next? What are we going to experiment with next till all hell breaks loose?
Well, we're about to find out if they go.
Okay.
who did this and what exactly is their main purpose. And let's actually just get this out of the way. This is nothing but a stunt. Basically, think of it as a kind of a promotion or a commercial that's supposed to wow everyone in order to show us what the startup is capable of. And it obviously worked pretty well. This is known as the Colossal Biosciences, and it's a company that a few years back announced a very unusual proposition. This company basically announced that they're planning to bring back the extinct mammoths. The process they refer to as de-extinction, and they want to do this by combining some of the genetic information we already have about mammoths based on the recovery of various samples from, for example, Siberia, and then using modern elephants to modify their DNA in order to then
Mm-hmm.
create a kind of a hybrid, an elephant baby, but whose genes have been modified to be very mammoth-like, or at least that's the goal they set for themselves to be achieved by 2028. And we've actually talked about some of the previous
Hold on. Arby, is the mouse going to grow tusk? Because that would be awesome. Oh my god. That would be great. That would be epic. A
Right.
mouse
That
with
would be
elephant tusks.
yes. Good comeback. That is awesome. We didn't even think about that. All I kept looking at was that hair, but
Oh,
oh
he has it
my.
now named the Mammouse.
Oh
Mamos.
my god. Oh, that's good. I love it. Thank you, Arby, for the laugh. That is crazy.
It is,
Will he
but
have
it's not
tusks?
done. We
Okay,
still got 10 minutes of information on how this came to be and what it actually means.
go ahead.
research similar companies have conducted before, including one startup that even created mammoth meatballs. The video for this is in the description. And so 3 years later, after their initial announcement, we essentially get the first result. But I guess this is not an elephant and not a woolly mammoth, but instead a woolly mouse, which makes me wonder if this was maybe some kind of a spelling mistake. Maybe they were never meant to bring back woolly mammoths, maybe they were actually always talking about woolly mice. But anyway, the point is that we now have this a super cute looking mouse resembling some kind of a guinea pig that to some extent could be called a mammoth hybrid. But here let's actually talk about exactly what was achieved and how this was achieved, and also discuss why it's extremely unlikely that that mammoth goal is going to be achieved anytime soon.
There's a question, D. I think you'll be better suited to answer. What is D's flower for? I'm
It's
not sure.
because the name D was already taken in all of the platforms, and so the only way I could keep my name was to put a flower, which represents a sunflower, next to my name, which is my favorite flower, that and daisies. But the name, as I said, was already taken, and so the only way I could keep it was to add an emoji to it.
All righty. That answers that question.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I'm glad you were able to answer.
I guess let's start with a video of these cute little mice, because they sure look adorable.
They are
As a matter of
cute.
fact, I would not be surprised if this actually goes viral and becomes a pretty common pet in the future. I mean, I for one would love to have a woolly mouse. But the first important question to ask here is, why mice? Why couldn't they actually just jump into elephants right away and start giving them this amazing hair? Well, that's actually because we know so much about mice and their genetics, and because mice have been used in genetic research.
JJ's asking which platform?
YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yep.
And you just wanted to keep it the same across all platforms
I'm
then?
keeping it consistent across all platforms, correct.
Okay. Kind of like I do the crazy bee across all
Correct.
platforms.
Correct. That way you're going to know it's me.
Alrighty.
Research for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, all of the genetic techniques used for gene modification have basically only been done in mice and may not actually work in other species. As a matter of fact, some of these techniques, including the one used in this study, have been previously tried on other animals but failed. And so it's not entirely clear if anything from this study can be translated to other animals like elephants. But in essence, here's what they actually did. First of all, they analyzed 59 genomes from various mammoths that lived between 3,500 and 1.2 million years ago, and then compared this to various studies using Asian elephants for a total of 121 genomes. And the point was obviously pretty simple: discover the genetic differences and find out which genes might be responsible for turning elephants into mammoths one day. And so inside the mammoth genome, the team was able to identify very small mutations that potentially affect hair pattern and possibly fat metabolism, or basically genes that made mammoths able to survive cold temperatures. And the actual process of how they discovered this is technically kind of brilliant. Here they actually compare this to what we know about mice genes based on previous research in mice and mice hair. In other words, they compared the genes from elephants, mammoths, and mice and discovered that there were certain genes that seemed to be kind of related. Specifically, they actually found certain mutations that were
I want to point out this is a rat right here, not a mouse, but nonetheless, let's continue.
also in mice that would occasionally make mice hair just a little bit different. In some cases, it even made their fur kind of appear mammoth-like. In other words, they discovered what's known as coat phenotypes. There are actually lots of different studies on this topic, and this has been previously studied for many, many decades. Here's actually one of the older studies from back in 1991. And so here they discovered at least 8 genes that seem to change the mice hair, making it appear golden and making it appear, for the lack of better words,
Like
blue.
he stuck his tongue in a
Basically,
light
slowly over time.
socket.
Yeah, basically he looks like he'd been electrocuted.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? They're cute. They are cute.
I won't lie.
They look
are
like they got
cute.
bedhead. They just
Right.
woke up and got out of bed.
But yeah, but I'm just concerned, like how strong they are, or you get a mouse in the house. Will that mouse be able to take on the
Well, they
cat?
only changed the hair genetics, nothing
Okay.
else.
Well, and the fat
So
metabolism, but still,
interesting to think about.
yes, it is. I wouldn't want to
That
see Jekyll and Hyde go after it. That's for sure.
that might be entertaining.
But and I already have enough hair around the house. Could you see if they ripped it? Never mind. We're going down a dark path.
Do
Keep
my
going.
shed. I don't Okay. There's another
we're
question.
going down a dark path here. So forget
Okay.
it.
Back to focus. Back to focus. Okay, let's go.
Early and a little bit longer. And specifically, they discovered that at least one gene seemed to be disabled in mammoths, but was active in mice. And so here they tried to disable this gene in mice, discovering that they actually did change their hair, giving them a much more curly appearance. And once these genes have been identified, they now decided to alter them using 3 separate techniques. For example, the famous CRISPR gene modification, which disabled 5 of these genes in various fertilized eggs, and resulted in 11 pups that ended up looking like this. Basically, mice whose hair was at least 3 times longer and much curlier, wavier, with even whiskers having a curl. Then they used a slightly different study where gene modification was done on the stem cells.
Would you
Here
stop
the
that
genes
one
were
second,
disabled
Crazy
inside the
Bee?
embryonic mice stem cell.
Yeah, I
I
just
have
saw
a
Arby's comment, but go
what
ahead.
did he go ahead, what did he say? Go ahead.
If those mice, if the mouse has tusks, it would win against your cat.
Exactly. I have a question.
Yes,
Don't mice carry don't they have like fleas or do they carry fleas?
only wild ones, or if you have a house infestation,
Right. I would
your
just be
pet mice could
curious.
get it.
Yeah, I'm curious, like with the more hair you have, what would be the
Actually, I don't know if more hair would make a difference because fleas, like certain body lice, don't like a lot of hair, like head
right,
lice. The cleaner your hair, the more likely you're going to get head lice.
right,
And the dirtier and slippier, oily your hair is, the less likely because they won't be able to grip your hair. And so, it again, depending on the insect, ticks can get around thick hair pretty good. I've
right,
seen them on some animals. I've seen them caught up in mats of hair on
right.
animals before that I picked up a stray and we went and cleaned it up and holy shit, talk about a mess.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just curious
so
what,
yeah.
if there would be any other repercussions by having that longer type hair. Again, I don't know, and that's why we are, have more questions than answers. So,
As always.
as always, go ahead.
Which was then combined with what's known as homologous recombination in order to produce the exact mutation that we observe in mammoth DNA. This was an extremely precise genetic modification, which once again produced very similar mice with very similar appearance. And so once these mice were produced, once they were filmed and photographed, all of this, of course, kind of went viral, with the researchers from the startup basically claiming that they now have the ability to create complex genetic combinations that took nature millions of years to create, and claiming that we're just a little bit closer to this concept of de-extinction, or bringing back animals that have gone extinct. But here's the thing, quite a lot of researchers and quite a lot of scientists that are familiar with these techniques and actually have done these techniques in mice so far have been kind of critical about this and don't actually think this is going to go anywhere. And so I guess let's discuss the criticisms and why it's extremely unlikely we're going to have mammoths running around anytime soon, with the first obvious fact being that this only involved 8 genes. But in terms of actual differences between mammoths and elephants, quite a lot of research suggests that there are at least 1.5 million different genes. And this is
Wow.
actually based on a study by the main
I was going to say 1.5 million genes to alter is a lot.
Lot. Yep.
That's a lot.
I'd lose count at like 800,000, 100, whatever, and then I'd have to start over at the beginning again. And, I don't think I
Yeah.
could count that high. And, when do we get to the 1.5 million? How long is that going to take? Although, why don't we throw AI into the mix and that might make it go quicker?
Oh no, no
Mm-hmm.
AI.
I guarantee you they're
Nope.
using a. Oh, yeah, yes, they are. I guarantee it.
I'm not okay with that.
I know you're
But
not. I know.
we've still got a few more minutes to go, so let's get through this. And this was originally like a 20-minute video. So I didn't cut out any important parts, just the stuff that wasn't really necessary, like advertisements for things. And the whole video is available if you want it. The link, of course, is in the description. His entire channel is awesome. I have another video I'm going to be covering where they've edited the genes for speech from a human and put it into a mouse and how things changed. So
Oh, come on. So now he's
that
gonna be
I
so now he's gonna be in an aquarium with a grate on top, going, D, I need to be fed.
we will see how it goes. But like I said, it's a video I've got to get cleaned
Yeah.
up so I can use it properly and not get in
Uh-huh.
trouble. And but yeah,
Oh my lord.
definitely. This is a channel worth watching if you're fascinated with this kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
researcher from the startup who has done these calculations back in 2015. And so modifying 8 genes compared to 1.5 million is obviously just a very small first step, which is why a lot of additional researchers believe that the only thing that might be possible is to essentially make an elephant kind of look like a mammoth, at least in terms of physical properties and maybe hair. It's extremely unlikely it's going to be possible to recreate an actual mammoth, especially because we still have no idea what most of these 1.5 million genes even do. And it will actually take a few decades before the function for the majority of these genes is finally discovered. And so yeah, 8 out of 1.5 million. Then we have the additional problem in regards to elephants just being way more complex than mice. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned, a lot of these genetic modification techniques might not even work in elephants, like they have not worked in a lot of other species. We know they work for mice, but quite a few of them don't work in more complex animals. And so here we don't even have the right techniques yet in order to modify the genes inside elephants. This is especially true for that recombination technique I mentioned previously that was used in these mice. And because we don't have any specific methods developed for elephants, it's extremely unlikely that any of this is going to work, at least for now. And then there's the fact that this is elephants and not mice. Due to sheer size and due to the complexity, elephants have a much slower reproduction. For example, elephant pregnancy lasts approximately 2 years, whereas for a typical mouse,
Could you imagine being pregnant for 2 years?
Oh, hell no.
It was bad enough 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one of my kids was born a month early. The other was born 2 weeks early. Oh God, no,
No way.
2 years? Not
You
happening.
know, well, I'll go ahead. We'll finish up because I do have well, let me ask it now and then we can answer it if we have an answer.
Hmm.
Wasn't there legislation that they were trying to pass that there was going to be no manipulation on like gene therapy for animals and stuff?
No,
Weren't no,
they banned cloning. Not that
just
anyone really listened,
right
but
because they did
no
the cloning.
cloning.
Right,
After Dolly the sheep, they
right,
said
right.
nope, not happening. And I
Okay.
actually remember that. I was old enough to remember that.
Yeah, I remember that too, but I swear I thought that after COVID. Oops.
Oh no,
Oops.
that's a viral manipulation, not
Right.
animals.
Realized that, but I said a bad word.
No,
After
it's not a
that
bad word.
after
Not
that
anymore.
after that event happened, I thought there was something about gene gene manipulation. I'll have to dig into that and see if there's anything there. I thought they were going to try to pass something, but
Every
go
day we
ahead.
stray further from God.
My son just looked at the monitor and goes, every day we stray further from God.
He's right.
He's not wrong. That is so true. He is not wrong. But then again, maybe God was just a scientist messing around with monkeys, and that's how he got us.
Exactly.
Oh, my son goes, do you think God left us because he's afraid of what we created?
No, he created.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, back to play
it's only approximately 3 weeks.
after
And
the
so being
live.
able to create an elephant baby with modified genes and then potentially testing this over and over is just going to take a tremendously long time. And then there's also the problem of ethics. Asian elephants are an
For what?
endangered species. And so it's actually extremely unlikely that
Daddy,
anyone is
make
going
an
to give this
exception.
company any rights to conduct any experiments on the elephants. And even if they do get the right, it's probably going to take an extremely long time. And so even though their goal was to do this by 2028, there's absolutely no chance they can get even close to this. Although intriguingly, approximately a year ago in 2024, the company here actually did something really interesting that to some extent could still help them do research without crossing any barriers. Here they did something that's used in mice quite a lot when doing genetic research. They basically took some of the cells from an Asian elephant and then turned these cells into an embryonic state, basically turning regular cells into stem cells through a very well-known process that's
Crazy Bee,
been
can you
used
hear me?
quite a lot.
Now I can.
Mom, Dad's saying I should take 2 of them.
2 Tylenol, 1 Motrin. You'll be fine. Or Advil. 1 Advil, 1 Tylenol. That's not Tylenol.
No, it's not.
Sorry. What was that, D?
Here.
Oh,
Whatever. Maybe that's why my head hurts all the time.
uh-oh. Looks like we lost D. Oh, bugger. I heard her for a second, and then she disappeared. All right, we're going to hit play, and hopefully she'll be back in a moment.
When doing genetic research, they basically took some of the cells from an Asian elephant and then turned these cells into an embryonic state, basically turning regular cells into stem cells, through a very well-known process that's even used in humans. And so here, by using stem cells from elephants, they can actually do research without even needing live animals and without making things too unethical. Essentially here, the goal was to create a model elephant embryo that can then be slowly changed into an embryo of a mammoth. Here's actually a picture released last year showing us various stem cells from an Asian elephant. But still, being able to create embryo of elephants and being able to create hairy mice is a far cry from being able to create an actual mammoth. And so the reality is that what the Colossal was able to achieve is essentially very cute mice with somewhat strange fur that does resemble a mammoth, or at least resembling the fur of mammoths to some extent. And though obviously something very similar could be achieved in an
I heard
elephant,
D.
this will definitely not make them mammoths either. It will just make them funny-looking blonde elephants. And so whether this is actually useful or not, I guess only time will tell. But at least for now, all we know for sure is that we can now create these super cool-looking mice, and maybe one day they'll be in every home everywhere. As a
Not mine.
Oh. I was just going to say, I don't think D agrees with him on that
Nope,
one.
not mine.
So I'll leave it at that. How do I stop sharing this? Oh, this way. Okay. And so yeah, that's a little just interesting tidbit of what scientists are doing behind the scenes. I want to cover this really fast Obama video. Where he basically admitted what Trump's been saying, and they yelled at Trump for this. Okay. So where's my thingamabob? Okay, here's an old video of Obama.
With respect to Mr. Romney's assertion that
2014.
Russia's our number one geopolitical foe,
10
the truth
days
of the
from
matter
now.
is that
11 years ago.
America's got a whole lot of challenges. Russia is a regional power that is threatening some of its immediate neighbors, not out of strength, but out of weakness. Ukraine has been a country in which Russia had enormous influence for decades, since the breakup of the Soviet Union. The fact that Russia felt compelled to go in militarily and lay bare these violations of international law indicates less influence, not more. And so my response then continues to be what I believe today, which is Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the number one national security threat to the United States.
Really?
Wow.
That was a remarkably tedious Barack Obama, adamantly saying Russia's not the number one national security threat to America. He mocked.
Yeah. So he said it. He said it. He had no problem saying it. But when Trump says it, oh my golly.
He's a Russian puppet, and we're back to Russia, Russia, Russia.
But, you know, this is again the problem. Trump is not wrong in what he's saying. Trump is being very clear about what he's saying.
Well, there
So
is.
why?
Yeah, I think we misplaced that article where Zelensky has committed to peace talks.
Yeah, that was the other day. I misplaced it. I don't know where it went. It's
We'll
somewhere
find
on
it.
our server,
Yeah,
or somewhere on Discord.
We have it somewhere. We're just not organized. But Zelensky sent Trump a apology letter for his behavior, and as you
Yes.
know, everybody on the left went, and some people on the right went absolutely ballistic when they said Trump was so disrespectful to Zelensky while in the Oval Office.
It was the other way around. Zelensky was out of control, disrespectful.
And so he apologized. Rubio is over in Saudi Arabia, and so they're hoping that Russia's going to come to the table. And there's another video we have where we're trying to identify the source, but they have a nice piece where they talk about, Trump isn't looking for war from either side. He's looking for peace, and so
Yes, he is.
he's looking to negotiate a deal between the two countries. And I don't know what that looks like. We don't know. But the one thing I would recommend is don't do anything in public again, where he's going to get, you know, ostracized and slammed and whatever. I just wouldn't have the media there, when for any of it. I mean, it really is ridiculous.
It is.
Uh, but they said that his behavior had set back international relations, hundreds of years, and we would never recover, and there would never be a ceasefire. He would never get them to the table. And look what happened several days later. Zelensky caves because he thinks he went to Europe and that they were going to have his back. And basically, they don't. So,
They wanted to have his back. The
uh,
problem is they can't financially or
right.
militarily do
Yep.
so.
Right.
There
Yeah,
is no way possible for them
correct.
to do so.
Correct. So
So,
we were kicking around two theories. So one was that Zelensky, Putin, and Biden were all in this together.
yep.
And then or was it just Biden and Zelensky?
Well,
Now,
Russia seems to be holding back, so they had to have been involved to drag
I
this out as long as possible.
see, I agree with you, but at the same time, I think possibly Ukraine possibly instigated whatever. We watched the video that showed all Putin had to do was send in 3-1, and he didn't.
And he didn't. He
He
sent 1
did
to
it. He
1.
went 1-1. So, and he held back on what he did with civilians. So,
Mhm.
if he would have went full full out, we know that World War III would have happened. The US would have stepped in, China and India would have backed Russia probably, and where would we be? So was he strategic in saying, well, we'll go to war, but I'm only going to do so much? I don't, this was supposed to last 3 days. If the 3 days was correct, he would have been able to just annihilate them, but that
Yeah.
didn't happen. So, but I can see your point where you say, were they all in this together? And it was nothing but a freaking scam. Because
To me, that's
remember,
what it feels like.
right?
It
Because
feels
remember,
like it's a giant scam.
uh-huh. And does this go back to Obama? We didn't even touch upon him, right? We didn't go back past Biden. So
Yeah.
remember, Obama sent Biden to Ukraine to get, settle the deal and everything. And that's where Biden was, either you'll fire the prosecutor or you're not going to get your money. So Obama had to be involved. We never looked at Obama, and we demonstrated where we believe the money went, but we did not say that we did not look into, okay, so Zelensky received so much money. What did he do with that money? Um,
Mhm.
did he blow it, on, we do know that the generals received pensions, certain people were covered. Uh, I think, did you mention some yachts were bought or something?
I believe there was some yachts bought, cars,
Mm-hmm.
luxury stuff.
Mm-hmm. So it's, who knows? Do you know what I mean? Who knows right at this point what the truth is?
I know.
I really
It's a
don't
bit
know.
alarming.
Yeah, it is, and I can surmise things from what I believe, from what we've looked at. But as we said, we have doing this, have more questions than answers uh,
Mhm.
for what we have found, and it's just mind-boggling what's out there.
Yeah.
And so part of it, I think, I really believe it's an intentional, deliberate way that they do things so that it's difficult to find out where the truth actually lies. you
Yep.
know and, and it's always follow the money. And when we started to follow the money, it just shot off into areas that we never even heard about. And it's a little
Yeah.
it's a little bit, I'm
Very
just glad.
alarming.
Yes, and I'm just glad though that it has not escalated to World War III, and I pray that Trump can broker a deal between the two countries. The King of Saudi Arabia is hosting them, so we just got to get Putin to the table and then let them do their
Well,
thing.
Putin is was agreed upon a ceasefire. It
Right,
is
for what,
just
30
a
days?
ceasefire for right now.
Right,
And so we can't jump the gun on that. But 30-day ceasefire is better than still fighting.
right.
I want to point this out to everybody.
Hmm.
I will take this 30 days of ceasefire over not having it.
Right.
And anyone who doesn't want to accept that, you've lost your damn mind.
Hmm. Brent made a point about how impressed he was with Rubio.
Yep.
Brent, I cannot agree more. I was very worried about that selection. When Trump made that appointment, I was, oh, did he do the right thing? And
Yeah.
I've always liked Rubio. I mean, he seemed, decent and whatever, but, was he really a rhino or what? But I'm telling you, it's like he's a changed person almost. His
Yeah.
aggressiveness, his stance, his position on things, how adamant he is. I mean, he is freaking on point. I just can't. It's like he's a changed man. I can't believe him. He true,
He well, and again, look at all the questioning of JD Vance and look how
yes,
that's panned out.
yes, yep.
Very good.
Hmm.
I,
So
I
if
still worry about the Speaker of the House, but he seems to be doing a damn good job.
mm, I
So far, he's keeping them in check. He didn't let the hecklers at the State of the Union get away with it,
no, and what
and he's been
they
and
just
he,
passed the
look right
CR,
now.
so
Oh,
the
did they
government
pass the the
yeah they
spending
passed.
bill or
Yeah,
no?
they passed it so the government wouldn't shut down. But I don't know what was in that bill either, so I don't know
Well,
if we're
one of
good.
these days, what we'll have to do is show people how to go find the bill and read what's in it.
Hmm. And you'll be
That's
shocked.
something we should do.
Right,
Yeah,
you'll
you'll
be
be.
shocked.
Oh my God, I read probably half of that COVID relief bill that they put
Hmm.
together under that Trump helped facilitate, but Nancy Pelosi sat on to make sure Biden won the election. Yeah. Okay, that bill, I was reading over it. Holy blazing crap. You would not believe the nonsense that was thrown in that bill that had absolutely jack shit to do
Hmm.
with COVID. Was
Exactly.
not necessary.
I
Absolutely
mean,
not necessary.
there were there were calls for, I know a couple of the Congress people were saying what they need to do is go to, one item bills, and you bring down one bill and that's it. You don't attach 20 freaking things to it that, make no sense. And you fight, you argue, you debate on that one bill, and then that bill is voted on. And quite frankly, I am sick and tired of not seeing them in the well, seated at their seat working, or when it comes time for a vote, nobody's to be found. They're still allowed to vote electronically. uh,
Mhm.
I want to see the government back the way it's supposed to. Do your damn job. How many of us can, you know take off, leave your workstation and go, to the golf course and work from there, or go up to wherever? It's ridiculous. They're still working under the COVID, that we don't, just shut up, D. Shut up. I apologize for the rant.
Oh, you're allowed to rant. That's what this is for.
That was a Benadryl rant. I'm blaming it on the Benadryl.
That's all right.
Thanks, Leah.
From
Leah, I agree. I don't trust any of them.
I just got told that Zelensky's still currently in the talks for the 30-day ceasefire. It's not been signed yet, from what I was just
Okay.
told.
Okay.
Someone DM'd me. Some people aren't comfortable talking in the chat,
Yeah, that's fine.
so they DM me.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
yep,
We do have an article, as I said, we just can't find what we did with it. We had it this weekend where the statement was Zelensky came to the table, but if he didn't, that's fine. If he did, we'll see what happens. You know, they're in as I said, let's see what Rubio can pull off and Trump can pull off and go from there.
yep. Let's give it a go. So the other thing I wanted to start today, and whether we finish it or not is up for grabs. I don't think we'll finish it in the next 40 minutes that we have. It is a 30-minute video of Piers Morgan. Basically, it was titled MAGA versus Ukraine. And oddly,
Hmm.
they only have one person really supporting Ukraine in here. So it is really unfair. But I'm going to go ahead and get this started after I remember to share the screen so I don't look like a jackass talking about something y'all can't see. Of course it does this to me every time. All right, here we are. I'm going to hit play and then respond to this message and go from there.
Start with you, if I may. What is your response to what appears to be a clear olive branch from President Trump to President Zelensky last night?
Thank you so much for having me. Well, we were surprised to see what we have seen today when America stopped the intelligence provision to Ukraine after President Trump was so clearly saying that the relations are getting warmer, right? One has to wonder, was it all planned beforehand and just executed right now? And the question is, why is pressure being put on Ukraine and not on Russia? Who is the aggressor here? And how many people are being sentenced to death right now by this decision of pulling the intelligence, of pulling the aid?
Yeah, I mean, Rob Smith, first of all, thank you for your service. Obviously, you're a decorated Iraq veteran. I have great respect for that. What people seem a bit baffled by, me included, is that you can be putting pressure on Ukraine to come and do a peace deal for obvious reasons that make a lot of sense. I actually think that Trump's overview of where the war is completely accurate. I think he genuinely wants to forge peace here. What people have been taken aback by is that he's quite happy to call Zelensky a dictator and then withdraw that and keep attacking him and humiliate him in the Oval Office and so on, whilst maintaining a position of never appearing to criticize Vladimir Putin at all, despite the fact that it was Putin, of course, and his Russian forces who invaded 3 years ago.
Well, I will say this, first of all, thanks for having me, Piers. First of all, it's not probably a good choice to criticize and to be really hard on the person that has basically the upper hand between Ukraine and Russia, which is Putin, right? So that's first of all. And second of all, I think that what people need to understand is that the people that were quote unquote taken aback by Trump's behavior towards Zelensky, by Trump's behavior towards the Ukraine, seem to be political commentators, seem to be people that were in support of just never ending this war, okay? I am somebody that voted for Trump, and I voted for this. I voted for strong leadership. I voted for somebody to hold Zelensky accountable. I voted for somebody to stop this endless sea of American taxpayer dollars that have been going to Ukraine for the past 3 years to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. The only people that are surprised by this behavior are the people that have become used to weak leadership in this country. The people who have become used to somebody like former President Biden, and a lot of the people that were advising him being run all over by Zelensky, by the people of Ukraine, by the people that supported this nonstop funding of American tax dollars to this country. President Trump has said very strongly and has sent very strong signals through his words and through his actions that not only does he want this war to end, but that we will not continue to send endless amounts of American taxpayer dollars to this country.
Okay, before I go to Mesa to respond, though, do you, Rob Smith, think Vladimir Putin's a dictator?
I do, personally, yes.
Okay. Well, I think that's an important thing to say. I think that lost in all this is the fact that obviously Putin is a dictator.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pierce, can I just make it?
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear that number one, I do think that Putin is a dictator. I do think that Russia is very aggressive. I do not agree with a lot of the stuff. I am in no way on the side of Russia at all. I know that that's a talking point that, and I'm not saying you did this, Pierce, but I know that a lot of Democrats that want this forever aid to go to Ukraine like to say that anybody that is critical of nonstop U.S. taxpayer dollars going to Ukraine is
No,
some
I get
sort
that,
of
and I
tool of
don't
Putin
disagree with
or
Trump on that.
thinks that
I
Putin
don't.
isn't.
Yeah, I think. Look, I think
Right.
the war is at a terrible virtual stalemate where for 8.
I want to point out that I was just going to say, this war is at a stalemate, and it's going to drag out. Like we said, we think Russia might be holding back. They could have just gone through and kicked the living daylights out of Ukraine. But it doesn't seem to be the goal to conquer Ukraine, but maybe just an area of Ukraine. I don't know. I'm not in Putin's head, but this stalemate has to come to an end. And the only way that can happen is if both sides concede, hey, we can't win this. Let's walk away. I don't know how you feel about it, Dee. Do you think it's at a stalemate point?
I agree. And I'm trying to recall. Remember, we talked about how, and it was in that last video where half of Ukraine spoke Russian and half of Ukraine spoke, yeah.
Actually, it's not even half of Ukraine. It's only like
It might be.
this
It
little
could be. Yeah.
virtual edge, this
Right.
very edge on the eastern
And that's
side
what,
of the
yeah, that's
country.
what Putin wanted, and Ukraine wouldn't give that up. But if I recall correctly, the people there of Ukraine that were Russian and spoke Russian, they wanted to go. They wanted to be part of Russia. They wanted
Some
out
do
of
and
Ukraine.
some don't.
Yeah.
The younger generation wants to go back to Russia, but the older generation's like, screw that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very divided area to begin with.
Right. Well,
So I just kind of wanted to point out the stalemate end of this, and that this could go on for another 10 or 15 years at the rate it's going.
Kind of like our Dem and Republican things. What do we do with the country? Split it in half, and the Dems go west, and the conservatives say east, or split it, halfway, and we stay north, and they go south. I don't know. I mean, it's the same type of, how are they going to come to peace? This is going to be a very interesting, because I don't see Putin giving. What is he going to give up? What's he going to give to Ukraine? Maybe money for the area? I don't know, but I don't see Ukraine saying, here, take this land and take these people. I don't see that either. So what are they going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. And that's, again, the biggest problem.
I don't see it just like, okay, we're done, shake hands, walk away. I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
There's got to
Hold
be,
on.
there's going to be a give. Somebody's going to give, and somebody, always in a negotiation, there's going to be a winner and a loser. The loser might not be, get a zero amount, but there's always a winner and a loser. And
Yeah.
I
And
really don't.
someone in my Discord is like, well, Russia's basically being told okay to everything they're demanding. That's not true. Russia's
not
been told
true.
no multiple times. They've been told to knock this shit off multiple times since these negotiations have started. They've literally, but it's not made public the way Ukraine makes their side of it being public.
Correct.
Russia's keeping their hands close to their chest.
You're not seeing the mainstream media, putting out anything that, in a volume like they are about Zelensky.
Yeah.
Remember, Zelensky was all about the money. Recall all that. Everybody wore the pin, in Congress. Everybody, every time he was here, there was a big hoopla. Here we go with more money. Here's another check. Here's more money. So, he was always, treated, up, elevated up on that pedestal. and that pedestal has now been kicked out beneath him. So I don't know how he's going to man up against Putin. I don't know what they're going to go for. And again, I just hope Trump and, whoever else is involved, they say Saudi Arabia is going to be, highly involved in the negotiation. So we can only hope that, both parties walk away with something. I mean, I don't know how this could continue. I really
Oops.
don't.
My typing is terrible today. I've got to find the articles where Trump has told Putin to take a flying leap on some of his demands.
Okay.
I gotta go find them.
Yeah.
Later tonight, I will find them. Because no, Trump has told Putin no to quite a few things, even though Putin's not announcing it publicly and Trump's not putting it out there wide over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're saying, yeah, Putin has denied any end to the fighting unless he gets everything he wants with no concessions. Then it's just going to,
It's not going to
I don't
happen.
know.
It's
I don't
it.
see that working either.
Nope.
I don't see Ukraine getting 1991 borders, and I don't see
Right.
Russia getting Soviet era borders either.
See, now we're
Someone's
if
going to have to get the hell over
right.
themselves.
If and it sounds like wherever you got this info, it sounds now we're back to Zelensky being the prima donna, right? That
Oh
I
yeah,
want,
it
I
is
want
a
yeah,
biased situation, and I
exactly,
understand why it's biased, and I'm just
exactly,
pointing out that perspective.
yeah. So, with him going in with that type of attitude, there's going to be no. I mean, we'll see. That's all we can do is we'll
Yeah.
see.
Hold on.
He might,
Let me start the video up
yeah,
again.
go ahead, go ahead,
And that way we can try to get through a few more moments.
yeah.
9 months now, all that's happened is both sides killing vast numbers of the other side in rolling, open, flat
Yes.
fields. And this is reminiscent of World War One to many military eyes. Let me bring in Mason Gifford. You're a British veteran and you've been in the Ukrainian army as well. What do you say to Rob Smith, also a fellow veteran who has a strong view in the way he's articulated? What's your response to that?
Well, I'd say that America needs to start looking to its values. It needs to start remembering who the victim is here in this conflict. Russia brutally invaded a European sovereign nation on the edge of Europe, a democracy, a country that ranks far higher on the freedom indexes than Russia, and they are brutalizing this beautiful country. I was on the front line, particularly in the south and around Kherson. I fought with the 131st Separate Reconnaissance Battalion, and I saw with my own eyes the extraordinary bravery of the Ukrainian people who are fighting not only for their homes, but for their lives against a genocidal regime that is determined to take all of Ukraine. And the big problem we've got here is Donald Trump he's come in to the White House with a sledgehammer, and he is absolutely trashing a political system, a world system that America has benefited from and actually built itself after the Second World War. We are entering a very dangerous phase of international relations, and I truly hope Donald Trump sees sense and starts to remember exactly the foundational values that America was built on.
Oh, stop there a
Okay,
minute. Here
Vinny,
we
let me
go
bring you
again.
in.
Here we
Okay,
go
go ahead.
again. I'm sorry, but here we
Foundational
go.
values. What are
Here,
they?
what the hell? Where's our mission statement? Where's our values? So that
Oh, we
I could
searched it. It didn't exist.
exactly. I am so sick of this. Who the hell was he? Again, just like we had that Ukrainian kid saying, we had to have boots on the ground to help fight the war. Now we got this British guy trying to tell America, you know what? Go to your own frickin' country and get your own frickin' people to fight. Go to your own parliament and have discussions. Go to your people and see if they want to have boots on the ground. Because I'm telling you what, if this war would continue in 10 more years and my grandson's going to be eligible for a drafter to go over my dead fucking body, is he going to fight in Ukraine when they're over here and we're supporting them? or you got people in frickin' Europe that's doing jack shit over my dead body. Honest to God. Oh, shut up, B. I'm Benadrylled. Just shut up.
It's okay.
I'm telling you, Crazy B, I swear to God, it's not going to happen if this war would continue. Who 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 is he? What are our values? Would somebody please tell me what our values are? You know, I hear
I
these politicians all
wish.
the time. Our America's values. Well, what are they? And did the American people agree on them? You know what I mean? Did we go to a ballot box and say, yeah, you know, here's our values 1 through 10, and we all agreed on them? Did that get passed anywhere? This is what our values are.
Yeah.
No, it isn't anywhere. There's shit that we can come up with. I can make up a bunch of values, but I'm not going to because I want to hear it from the mouth of the politicians. I want to see it somewhere in writing. You know,
Oh yeah.
we have the
But we're not
Declaration.
going to. We're never
Exactly.
going to see it because we don't have one in America other than the pursuit of life, health, and happiness or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Life, liberty, and whatever. I apologize, but I'm telling you now, again, over my dead body, will he go to Ukraine? Go ahead, Crazy
Hold
B.
on
Go
one
ahead, play
second.
it.
Okay.
As an
Yeah,
American
JJ brought up. Hold
is
on,
that we certainly
Crazy
don't.
B.
I'm listening.
JJ brought up that if they remember about the Down syndrome citizens.
Yeah, I had that pinned for a minute.
Okay, go
Yep,
ahead.
I
Go
did
ahead.
catch that.
Okay, go.
However, they're saying that Zelensky's trying to join NATO, but the corruption of the country is too high for them to join NATO. They got to get the corruption down. So Zelensky and Putin are both asking for impossible things. They're asking for impossible things at this time, and neither one wants to capitulate or give up anything. They want complete dominance in this war, which is not going to happen, which is why the ceasefire and everything else will not work, is because both of them are setting it up for failure.
Exactly.
And this is, again, give me what I want or I walk away. And well, that's why Russia's saying, well, if Ukraine doesn't capitulate first, I'm not going to talk. And Zelensky's like, well, I'm not going to agree to these terms. So, oh well.
Right. But
Still
I think
support me, still
yeah.
send me weapons, still send me
Well,
money.
I think right now though, with Trump saying no and pulling back, the money, right? So Zelensky doesn't really have a leg to stand on right now. He could possibly fight for, I don't know, a month or two. I have no idea what he has, but in the long game, he's going to lose, and he could lose a whole lot more than he has right now. So it
One
would
of
be
them's going to have to deflate their ego for
yeah,
this to
big
work.
time. Yep. And like I said, if he continues down this path, he's going to lose. And he could lose a whole lot more than if he just would go to the table and hear what needs to be, do what needs to be done.
Yep. Leah brought up a good point. If you want to give your opinion, I've got to respond.
Go ahead. What did she say?
Um, hold on one second.
Is this, I don't think any politician
Yeah.
or elected official should be able to require to people to go to fight in war unless they have served in the military themselves. Leah, I agree. But you know what else I also want to see is if there is going to be a war and America is going to be involved, I'm now at the point where I think the American people should vote on it. I don't know if that's a pipe dream or not, but we have these elected officials who are to be in our best interest, and we know that they're not. And I would like to have the right to say yes or no that we fight or not. I don't know. What do you think, Crazy B?
I think our leaders should be on the front lines.
Oh, we talked about that. I forgot about that point. Like in the Civil War, the general was with their troops, and they
Yeah,
went
I
and
think
they,
like
yeah,
our previous leaders,
yeah,
get them out on the front line. Get them out on the front line. Put them out there. Let them get shot at. And watch how quickly that war ends.
yeah. Let their kids go. Let them have to live in a tent. You know what I mean? And shit in a bucket, and go out there in the trench and see if they could dodge a bullet or not. Yeah, let's see that happen. Yeah, could you see any of them? There's not a well, there's some that are veterans. I'll give them that, but just start going down the list and naming names, and it's laughable. It's
Yeah.
laughable.
Let's get Putin and Zelensky on the front line with a gun.
Mhm.
Please.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How about back in the day they did? What the heck was it called when they went? You went back to back and you counted 10 paces. What the hell
Oh,
was that called? Yeah.
a duel. A
Yeah.
duel.
Why don't we have a duel? Whoever,
I agree.
whoever lives,
Whoever
that's
draws
good.
blood first
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah. I
You
like
don't have
that
to do it to
idea.
the death,
Oh
just to
shit, I
draw
like
blood.
that idea. I
I'm
gotta
so
put.
sick of these politicians sending our young men over there to die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold
I
on.
like
It's
that.
not pinning.
Let's have a duel. I like that.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah, so do I.
JJ's like, Leia has common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I am so sick of all of these people. I say put Zelensky and Putin in a room together, give them each a sword. First to draw blood wins. What
That
do y'all
might work.
think?
I like that.
I think that's what it should come down to. Good
Yeah.
old fashioned.
Yeah, or the don't come out until it's settled, like you do with your kids. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Sit
Lock them in a room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whoever's got the most bruises
Yep.
is the one who did the most bruising and damaging. Yeah, you're getting your ass put in the corner too. You're grounded for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So let's hit play. Let's listen some more.
Need any lectures from people that have been taking hundreds of billions of dollars of our taxpayer dollars like welfare queens, telling us that we need to take a look at what our values are. That is one thing that America does not
I'm
need.
British,
And
I'm
I
Ukrainian,
appreciate the
and
fact that we
it
have
is also important to
it
note
doesn't matter.
you're
It doesn't
talking
matter.
utter
What we
nonsense
don't need
in
is we
regards
don't need
to
other
how much
people. We
America
don't
is
need
giving
other
to
people
Ukraine. This is one of the big
lecturing
problems
us
we've got
about
at the
what
moment,
our values
from
are.
Donald
That's the
Trump.
I'm sorry about them over talking each other. It's just the way it was. I personally would not be allowing people to overtalk each other like that. But it is what it is. What can we do? Let me go back to hitting play.
first thing that we
It
don't need.
claims
Thank you.
$300 billion
Thank you.
of
It's
money
Russian
has been
money.
given
Thank
over
you.
to Ukraine, when in reality
Don't need
something
lectures
like
from you.
the killing
And
street,
also don't
$119
need
billion
lectures from
Oh, don't
has
people
talk
in
been
the
over each
UK
given.
as
other.
well.
All right, don't talk over each other. You've made your point,
Let's
Rob.
start
Let Mason
spitting facts,
respond.
though. Because the trouble is, we get a lot of sort of self-righteousness. We're getting a lot of ignorance, actually, from the Trump sort of administration at the moment. We've got to get a grip on reality. The reality is the US has not given $300 billion that Donald Trump has claimed. It's given something much more close to sort of $119 billion. Europe as a whole has given far more. Actually, not far more, but more than the United States in regards to aid to Ukraine. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to start busting some myths, and we actually need to start spitting some facts. Another big problem that we've got, and that I
can we
think
get
is
a fact
absolutely
check? I mean,
reprehensible.
can you?
Absolutely
So you're basically
reprehensible,
bringing up numbers
is
here.
that
I would like to know
Donald
where
Trump
these numbers
tried
are
to
coming
shake
from.
down
Because you can't
Well,
just
I can say,
something that I said was false.
I can say, Rob, I interviewed President Zelensky myself 2 weeks ago and crunched these numbers with him. And what is clear is they've not even received nearly half the money that has been awarded to them from Congress. But the amount that's been awarded from Congress is actually about half the amount Donald Trump keeps saying. It's nearer like 160, 170
Piers,
billion, not 350 billion.
With that?
Yeah.
Pause that there.
I'm going to make a point with that, Piers.
Okay,
and one thing when
second.
it comes
Go for it.
Well, we do know, based on our previous findings, that there was the $350 billion given, but remember it went to the OAR over in Africa. So that's a legit office from the United States.
Yep.
The money is distributed from there. We do know that part of the money went to Africa for fighting there. It went to other places for supposedly humanitarian needs. But the majority of the money, what happened to it? Do you remember? It
It
came
went
back
elsewhere
where? It
to
came
America.
back to America so that new weapons, etc., could be built. So America benefited from all that money that was distributed. Now, the money that that Zelensky did receive, we did not delve into where did it go. We do know that the generals got money. You know, as we said before, there were, yachts and houses and all that purchased. But we don't know what happened to the $119 billion that he had. What did he do with it? But, so there is this myth about the money and the lie that has been told. And that part is really disturbing. But go ahead and hit play.
Okay, 1 second.
To the amount of money that has been sent over to the Ukraine, there has been no oversight with this. It was a basically lawless Biden administration that was printing money and sending it over. There is no oversight to this.
Well,
There is nobody that
okay, but
really
Rob,
knew where that money was going.
hang on, but
And
again,
so-
Zelensky, hang on.
Yeah.
Zelensky made it Zelensky made it very clear to me that it has all been audited, and he's very happy that anyone who wants to do another audit of it come forward and do that. So let's be clear that as I think Mesa made a very good point there. There is a lot of bullshit swirling around about this war. A lot of figures are
and
not
Piers,
the
the
correct.
last
And that's what I keep talking about is all the propaganda we've seen. We've covered Russian side. We've covered Zelensky's, the Ukraine side. We've covered America's side. We've covered the United Nations, EU, European Union, whatever side. We've covered those perspectives. And it's funny how the countries with the least to offer are the ones wanting this to go on. And again, there is so much propaganda out there.
Right, and there's so much more that we don't even know. That's the other part. There's so much more that we do not know. That is it intentional? Of what we were talking about, is it intentional between all parties involved?
Yeah, that's again where I kind of sit. Hold on a second. Hold on.
If I could sing or do whatever, I would play, some pause music, like holding on music, like la 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 la.
Hold
So
on
you
1
came back.
second.
We're holding. We're not going anywhere.
I have to finish typing this. Oops, it just backed it.
Usually patiently, Billy, I have to say. So congratulations for your rare outburst of patience.
I don't know how far back that backed
Vinny,
it
I
up.
want to play a clip to you, and I want to see how comfortable you feel when you hear the words of Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov. Let's listen to him.
Trump, он прагматик. Вот это его лозунг.
Trump, he's a pragmatist. His slogan is common sense, of course, and everybody already sees that. A shift to a different way of doing things.
Переход к другому способу ведения дел, но цель все равно.
But the goal is still MAGA.
Make America great again.
Make America great again. He's got a new cap now. Everything that Trump promised, he did. You see, this gives politics a lively human character.
Живой характер.
Oh, Vinny, what's your response to that?
I love, hey, guess what? Common sense Piers. The guy sounds like he's making some sense. Opposed to Joe Biden, because Piers, let me. And first of all, thank you for your service, Rob. I love you to death, and for the other gentlemen, anybody that's served in our country.
Yeah,
I'm a veteran as well. But let's get back to brass tacks. But this is all because of this last administration, and there's a contrast. Joe Biden was a doormat, weak, spineless, and everybody, including Ukraine, including everybody, walked all over us. Okay. Besides Trump is a matador. Okay, he's strong and he's America first, and he doesn't play no games. And you know what, Piers? Just really fast, I want to get to why. And I actually took notes, Piers. Why is all this happening? Why are we where we are? NATO. Why was NATO trying to expand the border when they promised not to all the way to Russia's border? Okay, why did Joe Biden invite Russia? And you guys can look at the clip. He invited them to do a minor incursion. He basically invited them to attack Ukraine. He said that to Putin. And you know what? And now $350 million. You guys can fact check the numbers. I'm an American, okay, and I'm a veteran as well. I don't want $1, here's one, going to any country when we have United States veterans. Me and Rob are the fortunate ones that are dying in the streets, that are homeless. I go to VAs of veteran hospitals. Piers, it will make you cry, the type of service that my brothers and sisters go through that served. And
I want to just kind of point out here, we all know the VA sucks. It has forever. The VA has been a mess, and Trump is working to fix it. I've
Correct.
seen improvements. It's definitely a mess. It really, truly is a mess. And it is, again, poor leadership. So while he's bitching about the VA, because he just needs to get that off his chest, and it has jack shit to do with what's actually going on, just so you guys know, it is getting fixed. Oops.
And are dying for this freaking country. Right? And how many people have died in this pointless freaking war? Because you know what? Up here's this whole why. War is a racket. Okay, all of this is just all about the money. And I want to know what's the goal, Piers? Why are these people, these warmongers, they don't give a shit about Ukraine. They're just trying to mess with Putin because they want war with Putin. You know why? Which country has the most natural resources and minerals on the planet, Piers? You want to take a guess? Take a wild guess.
Where's Russia?
Russia, $75 trillion. It's all about the money. None of these people give a shit about the Ukrainian soldiers, Piers. Zero. And you guys want to talk about freedom? What's the conscription that's happening in Ukraine? I've seen the videos. They run up to men, sons, fathers, uncles. They grab them out of the street. They throw them in vans, and they put them in the front lines. Who's the dictator, Piers? That's a dictator. Okay?
All right.
And I'm not taking sides with Putin.
Okay.
Two things, Piers, can exist at the same time.
Quickly,
bad.
Vinny.
Putin's a bad guy, but this war is bullshit.
Okay. Batya, I'll come to you in 1 second. I just want Kira to respond to what Vinny just said.
It's very painful, and I just want to defend my countrymen, brave men
the
and
truth
women
hurts. I'm sorry.
who are
The truth
fighting
hurts.
for our freedom. Because, you know, we are a free country. We were free and we remain free. We have chosen to fight because we were brutally attacked by our neighbor who just came in to torture, to rape, to kill. And we decided that we will not capitulate. We will stand for ourselves. And the world is watching. And the only thing that we are asking is to support us that we can end this war. We are capable of doing that. We were so
You
clear.
can't win the war. Hold on. Can you win this war?
Absolutely.
There's no
if you give
chance
us
of winning this
enough
war.
of the weapons and
No.
supplies, we
Yeah,
can.
yeah. How much
We have
more?
get.
And see, here we go again. Provide us more. Provide us more, and we will win. How long? How many people? You're almost out of civilians who can fight, and now we're going to start needing other people to come in. When does it end? If you give a mouse a cookie. This is my problem with how lazy and complacent
A
they've
mammoth
gotten over
mouse
there.
wants a cake.
Yeah, it's got the whole European and Baltic and whatever regions are involved got complacent, except a handful of countries, primarily Poland, because they got screwed by Russia and Germany during World War II. Poland's like, never again. I've got two middle fingers for both countries. Yeah. So, again, I don't like this. And, you know, again, I asked this person I'm chatting with, you know, again, why did everyone get complacent? Well, because they followed the leader. When has following the leader ever ended well? Just follow the leader? So what if we're the leader? If you can tell that what they're doing is wrong, you get the hell out of line and you do something. This is one of my issues. When this follow the leader mentality. Okay, America's the leader of the world, supposedly, but we had terrible leaders for the last 60 years, 70 years or more. What the hell? Why would y'all want to follow this? Have you not seen what's happened here? Why the hell would you do it?
Right.
If you're going to sit there and bitch about how America's doing it, why are you copying us?
Yep.
Go do your own thing.
It
literally makes no
she
sense.
She wants more. That's all we've heard from every single person. We want more.
Uh-huh. It's a problem.
I'm not giving it. I'm telling you now, I'm done. I'm not giving it, and I'm not giving up my children, my grandchildren, or whatever. It just won't happen. I'm telling you now. To say to another country, they want the U.S. to come in. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, if we were to go in, then if shit hits the fan, that's the bottom line. Once boots go on the ground, once a U.S. soldier shoots a Russian, fuck, it's over. You might as well just, if you see the light, walk into it. Anyway,
Exactly.
sorry.
And that's my point. No, you're very accurate, though. You're spot on. You are spot on, because this shit needs to end. But let's continue this, because we're just going to keep ranting and drag this out forever. And we've got not too much longer that we can actually go before you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We got about 30 minutes. So,
well,
or no, we're past.
We're
past your
We're
30
already
minutes.
past our time.
Oh, so how about we just pick this up where we left off tomorrow? Let me mark the timestamp of 13 minutes.
What do you want to do tomorrow? Do you want to go the same, the 3:30 to 5:30, or do we want to just start 3 to 5?
We'll do that. We'll start the 3 to 5. Oh, hold on. Shit, I forgot to stop sharing.
We're going to
God
start.
blessed.
So we're going to start 3 to 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
So we have new programming. So our schedule's going to go from, instead of 4 to 6, we're going to go 3 to 5. And then we'll pick up here. But there was also one little piece I was supposed to read today. Do you have that up and ready?
Oh, no, I don't.
That we were going to test the audience that Bryson gave you?
Yes, I can pull that up really fast.
Okay,
Give me
real
one moment.
Yeah, real quick, I would like to challenge everybody in the chat the answer to the question that I'm going to ask you. Don't show the answer,
Where did I
please.
put it?
Okay. We might have to wait till tomorrow if she can't find it.
Oh, you want? Oh, okay. Well, there is no. Well, it kind of gives the answer away in it, unless you just read it. In which case, you would have to pull it up.
I want to read it, but I didn't want the answer at the top.
Well, unfortunately, there's no way for me to block that out right now. You'd have to read it off of yours. And
fudge bucket balls. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Hold on a second, people. I think we might be able to do that.
Pull it up on the tablet or the phone, whichever you're
I'm
not
on
using.
Yeah,
because there's no way for me to pull that up easily.
Okay, hold on. Everybody bear with us. Technical difficulties. Not technical difficulties. We just don't know what the hell we're doing, that's all. Okay, so we're looking for the answer to the following. Now, this is the left speaking. All right? There is clear, non-opaque, potable liquid, which is the same compound as 70% of the Earth's surface liquid coverage, can or might be perceived by an observer as being of a textual consistency classifiable as being possessive of the quality described as non-dry. This is how the left speaks. However, what is the answer that the right would give? Does anybody in the chat know the answer to the question?
Well, I'm sure Brent does and Arby does. And I don't know if Leia saw it where I posted it because it's been posted on my server.
I see. All right.
So
So we shall
Brent
wait
would
and
probably
see.
remember this, and so would
Yeah.
Arby.
We will wait and see tomorrow and see if any will give you the answer to the question.
Uh-huh.
And see where we go from there. And with that being said, we are 4 minutes over time. And we will see everybody tomorrow. Now remember, 3 to 5 o'clock
Yep.
is our new programming hours.
And that's Easter time, which means
Eastern.
2 to 4 o'clock Central for those of us who are in Central time. And if it's beyond that, you do your own math. I'm not doing
I was
it.
just going to say, I don't know right now. I'd have to look it up. So,
JJ says nitrogen. JJ says nitrogen, and that's not correct.
Just keep them coming. We won't give you the answer till tomorrow. So keep the answer coming. You think about it.
I see Leia saying water.
Uh-huh.
We will post the
Leia
answer
goes,
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll give you a Leia. I like Leia. A pop quiz. I love it.
I think we should start doing that. Little pop quizzes in here.
You just never
see
know
who's up on things.
Well, you'll never know what the heck we have to say.
Okay.
So it was enjoyable. All right, we'll bring it back tomorrow then. Have a good evening, everybody.
All righty, everyone. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, take care.
Oh, I got to play my outro. Outro. There we go. Love y'all.
Bye.
So with that,
be safe.
I thank you all for showing up, being here. And as usual, stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. I truly appreciate those who showed up and those who are going to be watching later on. I will catch y'all on the next one.